Discrete information, multiple options select, index query, and getting ready for Tailwind 4. Hey everyone, this is Adrian, and today we're releasing Avo 3.18. So let's jump. We have a moderately big release notes piece of page, but we have 3 breaking changes. We're probably gonna have another one next month, but I'm gonna tell you all about it. Let's start from the bottom up. So fetch hero icons from Avo hero icons. We had this brought in from our friends from Bullet Train. They switched from sprockets to prop shaft, and it seems that prop shaft logs out too many, like a log line for every piece of asset that it's being optimized in the assets precompile step, and we basically ship all the hero icons SVGs to you so you can use them. And now we just took all of those and we moved them through into a new gem called Avo hero icons, and that could be cached and that won't show up in your assets precompile step, and the experience will be a little bit better. Refactor, alias row to cluster. So some of you may know this, maybe very few, because as it turns out, we haven't documented this feature, so we have to do that. We have this piece of API. Actually, let me go and see, maybe on a team. Let me show you how this works. So we have, let's say, these 2 fields. I'll separate them right here. Maybe you want to show them side by side instead of one on top of the other. So let me just open up this page really quick, teams, and I'll go on one team, and you'll see created that in color. I'll just do row do, and then move these 2 fields inside. And if I refresh the page, now these 2 fields are side by side. They don't look great. And now you can do, I think I'm just going to select both of them and say stacked true. And now the label will be on top. So you have this, cool way of breaking, fields into separate rows. And if you want, you can, this is not, maybe not this one, but let's take, come on, can't I find one really quick? Okay, let's take another one and move this one inside the row as well. So now I have 3 fields that do the same thing. So we used to call it row, but now it's going to be cluster, because row always takes me I kind of think about this row, and it's a bad naming. Naming things is hard. So we're going to rename it to cluster, and we're going to document it like that. So we're going to probably deprecate it in a future release. So use cluster, don't use rows anymore. Next, better engine mounting. Yes, this is something that helps us internally, but also helps you, those that use Avo inside a scope. So the breaking change here is that you have to change your routes file from mount Avo engine at the path to actually mount Avo, just this method, add a custom path. This probably should be here. So this custom path. Cool. So you have the diff here, if this makes sense better for you. So now, for example, whenever you're using, I'm going to go to my routes file. Whenever you're using this locale, for example, so what we used to do before, if you were using Avo inside the locale scope like this one, you'd have to go inside the Avo documentation as an Avo initializer and specify something like, mount Avo engine, set it to false, and then manually mount all other Avo engines, just because Rails wouldn't forward this scope to all of those engines, based on a few design decisions. Whatever, that doesn't matter right now. So all you need to know, you can use mount Avo and at, if you want to do a custom path. If you don't want to do a custom path, you could just leave mount Avo. And this is basically the breaking change that you'll have to do. This will still work though, but this is much better because it allows us to mount our, if you're using any other engines, like Avo Menu, Pro, Advanced, all of those engines will be automatically mounted for you in the proper way. So if you ever run into like a mounting issue, check if you have this change done. Start using avo resource not found instead of routing error. Yes, this was a poor design decision from me. Whenever we couldn't find, so we have, whenever you go into and check out like a resource, a record, we have these hooks of like, okay, set the, inside the controller, we have like these before actions, like set the resource name, which is user, set the record ID, find the resource, find the record, blah, blah, blah. And at some point, if we couldn't find the resource, if this was like whatever, it would used to show, let me just try it and see. It used to show no route matches, so we couldn't find that route, but now we're actually showing like, okay, we couldn't find that resource. So it's a better error for you to follow. Next, these are like maintenance chores. We dropped universal ID until they remove they have this dependency on the config, and it has some issues. We fixed some styling, slimmer dummy files. Yeah, we made the dummy files for testing way slimmer, so it's easier to clone and use. Use app ID if provided whenever you install it. Cool, let's go to the bug fixes. Bug enough typo. So thank you, Julian. I think we fixed this as well somewhere around here. Not a big deal. Global search warning. Yes, this was a bug. Whenever you had search disabled on a resource, it would actually show up within the search, global search, like an error, but now it shows like a warning, like, hey, this is disabled, so just so you know. And this will show up only in development, not in the production environment, but so you know why it's not showing up in the first place. Array resource authorization, just what it says, fixing the authorization. So, array resource is still in beta, so now we fixed that. Tags, filters, values. Yeah, sometimes the tags filter value used to show like an empty string instead of the actual search, and now everything is displayed a little bit better. Number is within when multiple filters apply. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, it's an edge case. 2 filters, it's fixed. If you are John V. Troy, this is fixed. So check that issue out for more details. Radio field accessibility. So we had some accessibility issues where if you didn't click the label, it wouldn't actually select the radio field. Now it does. So it should work fine on a resource page and on action. Resource controls placement usage. Again, this was a bug on our end. We deprecated something, I think, in the past release, and we're actually relying on that. So thanks, Caleb, for showing us this, bringing this up to our attention. Change items for page URL on paginator component, fixing another edge case. Already initialized. Again, this doesn't, it's not a big deal. Text selection on table rows. Yes, this is a cool thing that we fixed last week. So a few releases back, we introduced this click record to click a row to view record. Wherever you click a record, it will take you to that. Whenever you click a row, it will take you to that record, which is great. But if you want to select something and you release the click, it would just go there. It was annoying as hell, and now it won't do that anymore. So that's a little bit better. Coherence with association fields authorization. Yep. So this is what was happening. So we had has one and has many and has it belongs to many. We support all the cool associations from Rails, and the read-only and disabled were actually I'm gonna say this, like working within one of the fields, like has one, I think, and it was not affecting other fields like has many. And we took an executive action decision, and we just removed the disabled and the read-only options from the associations, because associations are not just works or doesn't work. Can the person attach? Can the person create? Can they attach with fields attached to them for has and belongs to many? So it's a little bit more nuanced. So the breaking change is that the read-only and disabled don't affect has one anymore. So you'll have to use the already set in place policy methods. So go back to your Pundit policies or action policy or can, whatever you're using, and make sure that these are working. And read only and disable won't work on has many. Okay, so this is the second breaking change that we are introducing this release. Next, add options for filter to badge field. Okay, yeah. So this was basically happening in with the dynamic filter. So instead of showing the actual values of the badge, it would show the states. So info, success, danger, that doesn't speak to anything. So now it shows like discovery, idea, like the actual value. So it's another bug fixed there. Let's get to, wow, we're pretty good on time. Enhancements, log errors rescued from perform actions and record errors. So what was happening whenever you try to save a record and it had a validation error, like whenever it has a validation error for a field that is on the page, you will see this in red and the message, and you'll have this alert which goes disappears after a while. But in development now, we also output in the logs what happened. So only in development. And that's a cool addition. So if you're used to this kind of debugging, like something didn't work and you want to check out the logs, you can do that. And that's precisely useful whenever you're trying to save something and it's not a field on the page that has an issue. So let's imagine that this user, whenever you save it, you actually ping not ping an API, but maybe try to shoot off a notification through like whatever, a mailer or something, and the mailer fails. Well, that would actually fail this save process, and you wouldn't see the error here if you don't like output a proper error message. So that could be a little bit hidden away, right? But now you see the whole stack trace inside your logs. So this is a cool DX improvement. Detect polymorphic associations in generator. Thank you, Nevelito. This is perfect. So just what it says, when you're doing a generator and you have polymorphic associations, those are handled a little bit better. Allow dynamic content in description and name. Thank you, Marlena. This is your first PR, first contribution. Amazing work. It's a pretty good one. So whenever you are using like in a block, a callable block within the description and name for a panel, I think, or no, for a resource, you wouldn't have access to the query, and now you do. So you can say something like, okay, this user has 2 posts because it knows how many posts it knows about that query. So thank you, Marlena. Amazing contribution. Namespaced actions generator. Just what it says. You can say now, well, generate Avo action and give it a namespace name, and it will use a namespaced class. Another preview policy. Yeah, this is another breaking change. So the third one for today, for this month. So yes, it's 3 of them, but they're like quite tiny, and they're very easy to spot. So we have everything documented. I'll show you where you can check them out. So before, the preview field, you can just hover over it and it'll show you a few fields, so you don't have to like cram everything inside that table row. What do we have? I think we have it on the team, on the demo. Let's see. Yep. So basically it has, perfect. This is not authorized. We have to change the demo. So this would be the breaking change basically. If you don't, so now you have to add this preview method to your application policy, to your policy for your resource. Otherwise, your users will see you're not authorized to perform this action. So they won't be able to see those records. But now, if the authorization goes through, you'll basically be able to see a few fields that you selected for that particular person, that particular record resource. Whew. Okay, getting close to it. Add index query access in actions. This is freaking amazing. So I think this came from our friends at Green Hats. Okay, so let's see. Let me find a good example. Okay, perfect example. So we don't yet support export to CSV action. So we don't have it like it as a first party feature, but you can implement it. We have guides inside our documentation, somewhere around here, export to CSV. So you basically create your own action that does a few things and outputs a file. So before, the only way to get access to the records would be like selecting those records and then click and export CSV. And inside this action, this handle method, you would have access to a query object. And this query object was actually, these three records right here. So it's about 39, 38, 37. So these IDs. But now you have access to index query, and index query actually tells you everything about this. Actually, is it this one, or let me just check the code? Index query, I think. Yeah, so it's actually regarding, so it actually, you'll get access to the whole query as in the full 40 records. So you don't have to select anything, you just click and then export CSV. Of course, this is disabled because it's not a standalone action, but you would be able to add a button here to say export, and everything here would be exported. So if you do something like, okay, country is, let's say, Vietnam, apply, and now you click this, you don't have to select it, it will just be used inside that method. And this is really, really cool. I hope you like it as much as we do. Getting to those features, those cool little features. Implement multiple options for select field. So thank you, Zephin. Is this your first contribution? I don't know, but one of the, maybe it's not, I don't think it's the first one. So thank you for this. So in multiple options for select field, it's exactly what it says. We have the documentation here. So, the select field would usually have a drop down where you select one thing. Now you can make it with, where is it? I think is multiple. Yep, this one. So you say multiple true, and now you can select multiple options within that particular field. So it's freaking awesome. Thank you for that. We love it. Discrete information. Let me just take a sip of my juice to actually talk about this, because this is a cool one. So now we have, this is the API. I think we have documentation on this as well. If not, we should update it. But this is the API. So one thing that we usually do for our records, and probably you do it as well, like you need some, this started out like, okay, we usually have like this created that, we need the created that information or updated that or something like that. This is something, a small thing, but we need it just that, sometimes we don't want it there every time. We don't want to, fill up this full, like we don't need this full field for the created that. Let me just jump back in here into this demo app. So you don't want to display it there every time because it takes up a lot of space, and so you want to do something better. So let me see where I had discrete information. Let's just do it equals. Okay, so now we thought like, hey, maybe we could show it in a different way, in a more discrete way. So what we did is we created this discrete information API, which can show one thing or multiple things. If you wanted to show just one thing, you just pass it the thing. If you wanted to show multiple things, you just pass it an array of things. And I'm going to show you the API. So it starts off simple with timestamps, and I'm going to go on the event, and now on the event show page. And it's going to add this tiny little icon next to the title where it just displays the timestamps. So this is a hard-coded thing of, just timestamps, this symbol, and Avo knows this is its API. Like, okay, I need to show the timestamps. Well, but what if you want to do more than that? Well, let's make it a little bit better. Now I'm going to open up an object, and I'm going to say, I forgot the API. Let me see. So I'm going to say, tooltip, and I'm gonna pass in something custom. and I'm gonna refresh the page. And now actually I have to pass in an icon, and I'll just use whatever cursor gave to me. So if you want the API for this, it's in our docs, icons. Oh, come on. Should be somewhere. Icons. Our icons. Perfect. It's not. Oh, it's here. It should. I don't know what happened. So this document explains how you get any hero icon with every variant. So you use this API. Back to the feature. So we tell it what do we want to display inside the tooltip, and we tell it what icon there should be there. And if I go back, you'll see the calendar icon, and in the tooltip, if I wouldn't have any typos in it, it'll basically show me that information, something custom. Of course, we want to show something truly custom, so we'll go ahead and say record.name. Do we have a name? We have a name. And of course, you can create anything you want with this. And this is cool and all, but let's do even, we thought like, okay, this is really, really cool, but let's make it a little bit powerful. What if we could click on it? And now we can say something like URL, I think. Let me just check out really quick. It's not this one, it's URL. Okay, URL, and I'll just, say whatever, google.com, and I'll refresh. And now if I click on it, it'll redirect me to google.com. Of course, this is all cool and all, but we thought like this would be great if we could actually trigger actions from it. Let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to go inside a product, and I'm going to go on this product. And is this a product? It's a post, actually. Let me go onto a post. And right here, I have a bunch of them. I have this, external path that you can use to, we introduced this option a few releases back. But now we have all of these. And let me show you how this discrete information looks like. So we have a URL, which is actually pointing towards an action. So it's toggle published. So this will just toggle published at nil or now. This is all that the action does. I'm going to pass it the resource. I'm going to pass the arguments to it. It's a little bit more verbose, but I think if you check out the source code, you'll definitely see that the API is not very difficult. And then so we pass in the URL, we pass in the data attributes, because the action has to know like, okay, where do I want to load this? Is it because it's loaded inside a turbo frame? Again, more internal information. But what this does, it gives us the path to this action with these arguments, like, I need the record ID and like no confirmation true. And are you ready? I'm going to click this, and it says, now the post is a draft. It's draft. And now I click it, and now it's published. And now I click it again, and I click it back, and I click it again. This is really cool, right? So yeah, you can do this now. It's really, really powerful. We think it's cool. We think it's really cool. What the hell? Because you can, hide some of this information that you don't usually need behind these, cool little tiny icons. So yeah, discrete information. Tell us what you think about it. We want your feedback. Yeah. Don't forget about breaking changes. They are all documented. Let me show you how you get to them. If you go on the homepage, you can click Upgrade Guide or Get Started, and going to Upgrade Guide, you'll say Upgrade to 3.18, and we have a few things here. 1, 2, 3, actually 4. Yes, deprecation of row. So you'll have all the information that you need, like what is happening, why is happening, what do you have to do, steps to take to update, code snippets, the whole shebang. So yeah, big release, guys, big freaking release. Cool. What else? Tomorrow you should check out the Friendly.rb website, Friendly.rb Twitter, Friendly.rb Blue Sky, Friendly.rb LinkedIn, Friendly.rb Ruby Social. I think you get the point. Friendly.rb YouTube channel. As a preview for you guys, because you are now watching this, you can see the last year's after movie. So if you wanna check that out, this is really cool. And tomorrow we will release ticket sales, and we will release the first batch of speakers, and they are freaking stellar. We are I think I told you that, you know, my worst fear with Friendly.rb is never, you know, we're not able to like bring the same level of like top tier speakers every year, and I think we've done it again this year. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's gonna be cool. So we are opening up ticket sales, releasing you know, the first batch of speakers. If you want to sponsor, or your company wants to sponsor, this is the place. This is the button that you need to click, and I will be here, me and my teammates, to, you know, guide you through everything. You can submit a talk if you want to do this. We are very friendly with people that are just getting started, so this is one of the things that we want to do every time is, you know, try to put new people on the stage. So if you're thinking about it, definitely send us a submission. So this year, September 10, 11, plus 12. I don't know how to do this, but plus 12, the 12 will be a special activity. This is something that we do every year. We go to the mountains, we get on a train, we go to the mountains, we have a lot of freaking fun. It's going to be really, really cool. ClickFunnels is a Ruby sponsor. Thank you so much, guys. Buzzsprout is a gold sponsor. Thank you a lot, Tom and the crew. We're going to have a different logo here for tomorrow. Production partners, you know, our community partners, thank you so much. The same incredible venue, and we have a couple of cool surprises for you. So watch tomorrow's release, you know, video and announcement, because it's going to be cool. I have another quick shout out to give. Yaro he's been super busy with his, you know, job and family and everything else, but still found some time to make some content about Avo. So he has this cool playlist about building a directories, and he goes like pretty, you know, in depth with a lot of things, a lot of customization things. We'll have this on our docs. This could become like this Avocast's website. So, and I've spoken with him, and he has a few other pieces of content that they are coming soon. So, you know, visit SupeRails, you know, subscribe, and you're gonna have like amazing freaking content, because he's always been putting out, you know, content that's different. It's not that cookie cutter, you know, content that's super cool. So definitely subscribe to SupeRails. And one more shout out, you know, I want to give a shout out to Exekel, our copywriter. You know, he put out so many cool articles. I've been getting you know, cool reactions from people that I look up to, and they say, you know, like, you know, that the content is really great. So if you want to check out, you know, some of the most popular ones are, you know, Rails 8 authentication generator, and we talk about, you know, how to build like the registration and password remember and everything. And then now this week we published social login with the Rails 8 auth generator, so you can log in with Google and GitHub. We talk about inertia.js, user confirmation, a few cool pieces of content, and you can subscribe to it through RSS. So yeah, definitely check out our blog. There's one thing that we haven't talked about in the release notes. We have to get ready for Tailwind 4. So me and Paul have been, you know, speaking about this, on how to do this Tailwind 4 migration, and it's, I don't want to say it's difficult, but it's going to be intrusive for some people, and for some people it'll be just smooth sailing, like nothing ever happened. So what happened with Tailwind 4, let me go to Tailwind 3. So what they did is changed a few things. They have breaking changes as well, quite a few of them. And what happens is they did some updates on some classes. So for example, border, this is something that is going to hurt. Let's see, where is it? Border opacity, like I think it's border color, whatever. I'm trying to figure out, no, whatever, border, this one, for example. So the default border color changed. Before it used to be like grade 200, and you just say, you write the class border, and I have to write border and grade 200. which is a little bit a pain in the ass, and some rounded utilities and some other things. The point being, we did these changes on Avo. We have this PR open right now. Where is it? And we have this branch that we keep it up to date with main. And we asked you last time to basically instead of using, like, for example, if you're using the 17.9 version, just use Tailwind 4 to basically see what the differences are. For this 3.18 release, we're going to do the same thing, but in 3.19, so next month, we're going to fully switch to Tailwind 4. What does that mean to you? We have a few cases. So we have 1.2 and then 1.2. Cool. One is you have ejected the Tailwind pipeline, or you haven't. Okay, perfect. So if you have ejected the Tailwind pipeline, you're going to have to update that. And if you're going to have to update that, if you're using Tailwind 3 in your front office site, let's call it. So it's not Avo. It's if you're using it for your front office site, you'll have to upgrade as well to Tailwind 4. So let's do this A and B. If you're not using it anywhere else, that's great. We'll give you an upgrade guide. So this would basically mean like a yarn update and probably move some files around. So this is probably the most heavy upgrade process. I took it from the worst to least worst. Next, if you haven't ejected the Tailwind pipeline, we have two more cases. 1 and 2. Actually, these apply to both of them. But if you haven't, that's great. You won't have to do this upgrade. That's perfect. 1 and 2 now. You have custom tools, like tools and resource tools, and maybe custom field views. And you don't have them. You don't have them. So if you have them, you'll have to apply the Tailwind 4 upgrade guide changes, which usually are like border 200 or rounded SM or something like that. You have to apply these classes somewhere. We'll give you the classes that you'll need to apply and where, and you have to do that inside your custom files. If you don't have them, awesome. You don't have to do anything. Everything will be switched for you for Tailwind 4, and everything should look the same as it did before. If find some inconsistencies here and there, definitely tell us about it, and we'll cut up a release really quick and have them. So I would guess that maybe 70%, maybe 80% of the people are here, and then maybe 5% of people, maybe 3%, 3 to 5%, whatever, are here, and maybe 90% are here. That would mean 95 or 97 actually, if we do this. So probably you won't feel anything. If you're here and you'll have to update your front office and everything, definitely reach out to us. We know that this is a bigger ask, but we need to get onto it and to be able to we want to do a new theme. We want to build a new UI for Avo, so we don't want to do it on Tailwind 3. We want to do it on Tailwind 4 and have everything new and sweet. So if you're here, definitely reach out to us and we'll see what we can do. This one, that's just perfect. Everybody, I think most of the people, like 70 to 90%, are going to be just fine. So yeah, this is like prepping for Tailwind 4. It's going to be a cool release, and it's going to open up quite a few possibilities for us to actually theme it a little bit better. I've been speaking to people, and if a few years ago this Avo looked great, or like oh my god, so good compared to other alternatives, now it's like it's okay. Like it looks a little bit dated. It has some design cues from like a few years ago, but it's definitely dated. We can do better, and we want to start that from a blank a blank sheet. Like we want to start with Tailwind 4, so everything looks great. Cool. I think that's about it for today. Do we have anything else? I don't think. It's been enough. It's been enough. We have a few other things going on, but it's good enough. Thank you so much for being an awesome community member. Thank you for using Avo. Thank you for your feedback. We love getting it, the good and the bad. We're trying to improve with all the bad things that we get. Yeah, we're trying to make this like an evergreen product that you will be proud of using and proud of shipping to your users and your customers. And we want to make you look like a superhero to your project manager or employer or like co-founder, that you built it so fast and so cool, and proud for you to like use this cool tool and have like all of these developer experience improvements in there. So yeah, thank you so very much for using Avo, and for sharing the word and for your feedback. Cool. Thanks so much. I'll see you actually tomorrow. I'll send another video about Friendly.rb. So see you tomorrow. Bye.